And we're back after a brief break. You're watching Attorney Joe Flores right here on South Texas Crossfire. Special thanks to Don Humberto. It is his first anniversary. He's passed away. We honor him. And we also thank the Lopez family. You guessed it, Carlos Lopez, the Ted Turner of South Texas Broadcasting. We're here today, and we're talking about immigration with Attorney Juan Reyna. No se lo pierda aquí. Estamos con Juan Reyna, el abogado, que hace inmigración y también el sistema federal, que los ayuda a todos que tienen, por ejemplo, si tienen trabajo, están aquí y no tienen documentación, tienen miedo a estar adelante y agarrar los derechos que ustedes merezcan, pueden llamar a Juan Reyna 993-8100. Welcome back, Juan.
Thank you, Joe.
Hey, well, listen, we were talking about the harrowing experiences some of these people deal with. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Many people don't understand, and they say, well, we just don't want those immigrants. Talk about some of the experiences that these immigrants who enter illegally by no choice of their own, or they were born here, or that are crossing over out of exigent circumstances. What kind of stories and actual documentation have you seen that have impacted them all?
Well, like you, Joe, I mean, we've been doing this for over a decade, representing clients who make this horrifying journey, oftentimes from Mexico, sometimes from Central or even South America. And they come all the way up here to the United States because this is still the land of opportunity, and everyone is in search of the American dream, including them. Nothing has changed. There are so many things that we take for granted in our country, and despite the most difficult times that we have gone through over the last number of years with the financial crisis and the meltdown of the market economy and the high unemployment rate that we've experienced in this country, the truth of the matter is that we are very blessed, and that even in our worst day, it is probably 1,000 times better than their best day in their country of origin. And that is what drives this labor force to want to come to this country to work, and oftentimes do the work that our own citizens refuse to do. And so there's always going to be that need for labor. The debate, the topic is, well, how should that be accommodated? Obviously, I do believe in lawful immigration, and I think that the system needs to be overhauled in an effort to make it easier for those work visas and for that labor force to be here, provided that they don't have criminal records and that they're not coming here to in any way do ill to this country, but that they're here for the legitimate purpose of providing for their family and to pay their fair share of the taxes and the tax burden, and the burden of what it means to be a citizen of this country.
Well, and cambiando nuestro idioma aquí español, recuerde que ustedes también tienen derechos si están aquí. Ahora tienen que aprovechar de los papeles, los documentos que pueden hacer. Llama al Juan Reyna 993-8100. Y también, como dijo el señor Reyna, hay algo horrífico que está pasando ahorita con nuestra cultura, con nuestra gente que vienen para acá y tienen miedo a hablar con un abogado, agarrar un consulto gratis y a ver si pueden hacer los papeles y cruzar libre de los riesgos que tienen, libre de pasando en el monte y nunca sabes con quién andas. Muchas veces vienen para acá y después los secuestran, como en el pueblo, todos van para Houston, la ciudad de Houston, y los secuestran y también hablan a la familia y dicen, pues costó 3,500, ahora necesitamos 2,000 más. Y así es, horrífico las cosas que están pasando a la gente. As Juan Reyna has said, there is horrific things that are going on, stash houses. We're going to be talking about the great job that Immigration and Customs does and the federal agents do, but their hands are trapped because what? They say and the judges say, talk to your legislator, change the law, right, if we're going to try to give them a fair shake and those that have already worked with dignity here. But, I agree with you. Those that have not broken the law, those that have broken the law, it's a different story, isn't it?
I would think so, especially for aggravated felonies. I mean, oftentimes what you find are individuals without their paperwork, and if they're committing major drug offenses, clearly, it's hard to say that that's a person who's contributing to society in a positive manner. So I think every reasonable person understands that, gets that. But for the vast majority of the people that are here, they're law-abiding, and they play by the rules. And they get up at extraordinarily early hours and work extraordinarily late hours to do the type of work that many of us citizens here, quite frankly, do not want to do not want to do. Much of it is hard physical labor. Much of it is in the agricultural work that many citizens do not want to get involved in. But it's vital work, and it's work that needs to be done. We take it for granted when we go to H-E-B or to our local grocery store that all the food on the shelf just mysteriously, magically gets there. That's not the case. The migrant workforce that's out there working in the agricultural setting is very much responsible for ensuring that that those fresh fruits and vegetables are always on that shelf, and they play a very vital role in many of the things that we just take for granted here, Joe.
Y no es nomás los empleadores, señor Reyna, ¿verdad? Son los empleadores que lo están pidiendo el trabajo de ellos que vienen para acá. It's the employer, and if there wasn't an inherent need, and there are people that are looking for cheap labor in construction and everything else, that people do say, well, they're taking our jobs, but isn't it true that very rarely does an employer here or a corporation get prosecuted for, we've heard stories of major corporations housing illegal aliens and having them work and actually keeping them locked in the facility and working. But those people are never prosecuted. So we never hear the flip side that the American employer that creates this need, they're never prosecuted. It's the people that come over to work.
Well, and the employers, look, they're not creating the need. We as consumers of products.
That's true.
Create the need. These major corporations, of course, they are looking for an inexpensive labor force to help fill the need that us consumers are driving. But to answer your question, it's interesting because you know, politics, and which is very much at the forefront of your show, Joe. This one's a mixed bag because depending on your political suasion doesn't mean anything. We saw that in this recent presidential debates up in Iowa, where our own Texas governor, who hails from a state with an enormous Hispanic population, was basically booed off the stage up in Iowa because of his stances on immigration, on allowing individuals who grew up in this country, who graduated from high school here in Texas, but who are not U.S. citizens, to allow them to attend a public university at in-state tuition rates. Yet a United States citizen from Iowa or from New York or California who would want to attend the University of Texas or Texas A&M College Station would have to pay out-of-state tuition costs.
Yeah, that was a blockbuster.
But what it does is that it very much highlights, and so this thing, it's a mixed bag across the board, because you can't just say, well, the Republicans are against it and Democrats are for it. It's more complex than that. It's really one where individuals who have experience with the Hispanic community and have had an opportunity to get to know people who perhaps don't have their paperwork, but can see their enormous commitment to this country, their work ethic, that they're law-abiding, that they're good people, that their children perhaps are citizens, or that their spouse is a citizen, that there should be a path for that individual to get their paperwork in order so that they can come out of the shadows and not have that fear of always having to look over their shoulder.
Pues bien dicho, y lo oíste a Juan Reyna. Estamos mirando a South Texas Crossfire, nuestro abogado del pueblo, Juan Reyna, que lo está ayudando con preguntas de inmigración. Si tienen preguntas o quieren un consulto gratis, no se lo pierde aquí. El número que lo están enseñando, 361-993-8100. Recuerde que no es una pregunta del republicano, del Partido Demócrata. Los afecta a todos. Y la gente que nacieron aquí sin culpa culpa de nosotros, de ellos han gradado aquí. Están buscando educación y un futuro mejor para su familia, pero no es fácil, como dijo el señor Reyna, el abogado aquí, Juan Reyna, no es fácil. Mucho tiempo, muchas veces es muy complicado las cosas, pero si tienen preguntas, por favor, 993-8100, el número del área 361, y también los pueden alcanzar a Juan Reyna, a J Reyna Law, at yahoo.com. Lo puedes también en el internet. Y también es Juan Reyna. Y le doy gracias a Juan Reyna que está aquí. Thank you so much for coming on, Juan.
Thank you, Joe.
And it's 993-8100 if they have any questions or comments regarding that. And they can shoot you an email at JR, and is that Reyna Law?
At jreynalawfirm.com.
jreynalawfirm.com. We've got about 30 seconds. Any closing arguments?
I just appreciate it, like you, Joe. We're here to help the people. So many good people in our community here in South Texas, and who might have questions. I would encourage them, contact an attorney of your choice. I'd be more than glad to answer any questions that they may have, but it's just so important. Like you, I believe in it so much that so many good people are in need of help, and it's been a pleasure and an honor helping people over the years, and we look forward to doing it in the future.
Pues ándale, bien dicho, es placer de nosotros tener el abogado Juan Reyna aquí, que los está dando consejo aquí, pero recuerde, no es consejos legales para ustedes. Ustedes pueden llamar al abogado que ustedes quieren, pero también aquí está Juan Reyna a sus órdenes. Si tienes unas preguntas, 993-8100, 993-8100. We're out of time. Dave is pulling the cane and me off stage, pero os doy gracias y los quiero mucho a toda la gente que lo están mirando aquí, que hablan nuestro idioma. Don't forget, we are 50 million strong here pretty quick and growing, and the highest block of consumers. And don't forget that. We are out of time. Until the next time, thank you and God bless.